I got a couple of minutes. Competency crisis 3-ish. Anyway, I've lost count, but I think it's 3. Anyway, the next phase of your competency crisis is going to be, it's going to be because of what you're seeing right now, which is what's happening, which is we always win. And if we don't win, we'll change the rules to make sure we always win, right? Remember when you were a kid and you'd hear a bunch of other kids scream out, let's do a new rule, let's do a new rule. That's what you're seeing happen right now all over the world. It isn't just the US, it's all over the world, okay? Where the people that are in so-called positions of power, they're not going to want to go quietly. These people aren't going to want to lose. So they're just going to keep creating more rules, more and more and more rules to make sure they always win. Okay, that's how this works. And it'll work until it doesn't, okay? Well, the next phase of this is your competent people who just say, okay, well, look, if it's going to be like that, if you're going to play like that, I'm not going to play, right? And this is where we are rapidly approaching now with your truly competent people. Truly competent people now, many of them are, I'm seeing this. They're kind of playing dumb. They're starting to go, they're starting to back away from their competence. And I know that there's a few of you out there that follow me, because I hear from you, and I know you know what I'm talking about, where you guys are just starting to you're starting to close your mouth a lot more. You're starting to just in other words, let the incompetent people run it right into the dirt, and just wow, you're doing the whole Willy Wonka thing. Oh, don't stop, you're going to hurt somebody. And you just let them go. And that is where we're rapidly heading right now. This is, if you want the literary example, it's your John Galt moment. This is where the people who are truly competent, who should be winning right now, they should be, the truly competent people who do the work should be really raking it in right now, but they're not. And they won't, because the rules keep changing to make sure the same people always win over and over and over. And of course, they're using the politics to do that. I answered somebody else's question when they talked about, is there a political solution? Not until that stops. And the only way to stop that that I can see is hard currency. But we're not going to talk about that in this video. This video, we're talking specifically about the competency crisis. And that is the next phase of it. That's the next part of what's coming, is your competent people just be going incompetent, right? And they're not incompetent. They're perfectly capable of doing super quality work, but they're going to just pull back. And they're going to go, nope, I'm not paid enough for that. I'm not paid to be on time anymore, because everybody else is a bunch of fuck-offs, so why shouldn't I be? I'm no longer paid to do top-tier work, right? I'm no longer required to weld a fucking stack of dimes. For you welders out there. I'm no longer required to do perfect concrete work. These are your competent people that are going to start just saying, yeah, close enough, fuck it. Because there isn't enough compensation in it. Remember, and I don't know how many times I have to go over this, but men don't work for money. They don't work for little green pieces of paper. They don't give a fuck about that. They work for a result. And if the result is that them just being in poverty, if the result is them just having tons of financial problems, even though they're working full fucking time, right? Full time plus, they're going to just stop doing all of that. They're going to just start doing enough to kind of survive, and everybody else fuck off. That is rapidly happening. I'm seeing it everywhere. It's becoming very pervasive, and it's going to start happening more and more and more and more and more. This is why your hold times are going to increase. Okay, let's talk about real world, practical, on the ground shit. Your hold times are going to increase. You're gonna when you finally do get a customer service, whatever the fuck that means. When you finally do get customer service on the phone, they're not going to have any answers to any questions, and the script they're going to read from isn't. They're going to answer the same. You're going to ask a question, and they're going to answer it from some other, because that's not what the script told them to. You're just going to have nothing but problem after problem after problem, and you're going to spend more and more of your life trying to get really simple shit done that should only take 5 fucking minutes and then move on with life. But that's not what's gonna happen. Now you're gonna spend a bunch of time arguing with everything. Now you're gonna spend a bunch of time in line. This is you're going to see this at like all these, I talked about this before, where you've got these stores, you go into these stores and they have like 1,900 checkout lines and there's 2 people working. That's just going to get worse. I mean, why should big Mega Mart care about how many hours in line you've spent there? Same thing happened in the Soviet Union. Why should they give a shit about how long you stand in line? You know, I was in line for 6.5 hours. Why should they give a shit? Who's your competitor? Who are you going to go to? Well, I can go to the small business on the street. You mean the one that closed down? Because they can't afford to compete against Megamart because Megamart is government subsidized and stock market subsidized? See the problem? I mean, you know, you want to have competition. You know, remember, I mean, number 3 on the list is small business. And if your small businesses are all gone, you guys are fucked, man. Because small businesses are typically run by your most competent people. Typically, not always, but typically, your most competent people are the ones who run the small businesses. And if you think that those guys, let me just clear this up with you. If you think small business owners are going to go work for Megamart and they're going to be just as competent at Megamart, no, you don't understand the psychology there at all about how people operate. The business owner mentality, these guys do what they do because it is theirs. They have concept of ownership. Remember, we talk about ownership a lot here. They have concept of ownership. When you take that away from people, they like, what do they care, right? This is so evident in almost everything you do, everything you see. We talk about this a lot here. I talk about this a ton. That when you create a nation of renters and a nation of people who own nothing, they're just gonna stop caring. They're gonna do the minimum it takes to exist, and that's the end of it. And they're probably not even gonna do that. And then you're gonna see crime increase, right? Now I'm not talking about the crime where there's like violence involved. I'm talking about, you know, all the crime, all the non-crime. You're gonna see crime, and you know, the kind of stuff that I do, right? The non-violent crime. At least I try not to be. You know, it's not part of my code of ethics. I don't want to hurt anybody, but my point is that this is the kind of thing that you're going to end up seeing increase. Again, same thing with the Soviet Union. Same thing. This is the same shit, different millennium. It's going to repeat itself. So no, you're not going to get the same level of competency out of the same guy. They just don't operate like that. People who own something, right? When they own, they take on personal responsibility and they feel a personal responsibility to their customers, to their people. And when you take that away from people, now you could say like, well, but that's the franchise idea. That's fading fast. And the reason it's fading fast is because, well, once again, more and more franchise owners out there. I'm talking to you franchise owners out there. So, dude, you think I don't know? Dude, I've owned several franchises. Dude, you franchise owners out there, more and more of you are starting to feel the pinch, where it's like, this isn't really my business. I'm basically a glorified manager. The company is very generous with my time. Remember Burger Douche, you know, with their fucking shake machine? You know, that like, okay, and it turns out that, yeah, the company that makes the shake machine deliberately, allegedly, I have to say allegedly, that shake machine is like constantly breaking down. Yeah, it's because they're just trying to juice the franchise owners for more and more and more money. And more franchise owners are going to start feeling that. They're going to start, all these big companies they're going to start getting very generous with your time. Very generous with your time, very generous with your money. They're going to start offering all kinds of great incentives that you get to eat. It's coming, I'm telling you. And you're going to have more and more franchise owners just do the same thing. They're going to like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not doing warranty work anymore. I'm not warrantying your shitty fucking product. You make a shit product, and then you ask me to go out there and fix it for cut rate, for warranty rates. And warranty rates are like 1/3 of what I would charge a customer for it. This is coming. Okay, so that's the next phase of the competency crisis, so be on the lookout for it.